What if every footballer had Messi and Ronaldo levels of potential? Whether you play in League One, the National League, or the Indian Super League, every player could get as good as Prime Pele. So I have painstakingly edited all 476,153 players in the Football Manager database to have the maximum potential. I reckon we'll quickly see youngsters in Europe's top flights like Morgan Rogers and João Neves reach that potential, but I think it'd be cool to see if smaller clubs that have young cores, a bit like the team I support, Lincoln City, see if they can go on to develop those young cores and become incredibly good teams in the Champions League. I've also chosen 3 youngsters to keep an eye on. Centre-back Alireza Homaifard, playing in Iran, centre midfielder Isaac Amoran, based in Nigeria, and Serbian striker Dalibor Lazic, who is currently without a club. These 3 all have current abilities good enough to be in the National League or maybe a League 2 club, but usually in Football Manager their potential ability gets them no further than League 1. But now they have unlimited potential. Could these 3 go on to become global superstars? So let's get started with simulating and head into Season 1. Man City have reclaimed the Premier League title ahead of Liverpool, with Newcastle United in 3rd and Spurs making a miraculous comeback to be in the Champions League. That could end up being the most surprising thing of this video. I'm not expecting much to change in Season 1 though. I feel like we're going to have the status quo stick with us for quite a while. And I think looking at the transfers, that does kind of suggest that's what's going to happen. The most expensive transfer of the past 12 months has been Lois Openda moving from RB Leipzig to Man United for 47 million. I mean, that's the biggest transfer in the world. Clearly clubs are thinking, oh, we've got all of this amazing talent at home, let's not bother signing anyone. Ali Reza has not left Persepolis in Iran just yet. The centre-back has got 100 current ability, so he's improved a little bit. I think he starts around 80-ish, 85 or so, and he's gone up to about a League 2 level player, like a solid League 2 player I'd say there, but whether he leaves the club or not remains to be seen. Same with Isaac Amoran, still playing out in Nigeria right now. How much has he improved this first season? Not as much, only 91 current ability. He's going to need to move soon to get out of the Nigerian domestic leagues and into maybe a better league in Africa, or maybe he gets picked up by a European club. Which is not looking good for Dalibor Lazic though. I picked him at random thinking, oh, an unsigned striker, this could be quite good fun. I think he's retired. Oh, dear me. Right, okay. My backup option is Freddie Draper, because I know he's a good young player at Lincoln City. We'll keep tabs on him. I think we'll start to see some movements by Season 5 or so let's jump to then and find out what's going on. Tottenham Hotspur are the champions of England. They've beaten Arsenal to the title here in Season 5. It's the first season actually that Man City haven't won. They won the first 4 seasons and Spurs have ended up title winners in Season 5. 15th place, Burton Albion. That is really interesting that they've managed to get themselves up there. They do have one massive advantage though. Their training ground is St George's Park. That is the England training facility. So they share the facility with the England national team. So obviously it is state of the art. So because they've got such great training facilities, only ranked 18 out of 20 actually in game, they're able to develop their players better than clubs with much worse training facilities. Oh my, this is incredible. Wow. So Burton Albion's best player is rated 170 out of 200 in terms of current ability. In a normal Football Manager game, that would make him one of the top 50, maybe top 30 players in the database. In fact, if you look through this team ordinarily, if you had a team this good in Football Manager in a normal database, this is a Champions League winning level team. So Charlie Knowles, bless him, has been at Burton Albion his entire career, and he is now, wow, incredibly good as an attacking midfielder. He's not even made an England cap yet, look at him. No England cap. So if that's how good a team in 15th place is in the Premier League, how good are Spurs? How good is Spurs' side? Oh my word, yeah, this is unreal levels. They've got Rooney Bargy, who has completely maxed out his current ability, 200 out of 200, insanely good. Matasar up there with 190, Udogi 187. So maybe we're seeing the other end of what could happen. Obviously, all the Premier League teams are playing at the highest level, so their players are getting lots of match experience at a great level. They've also naturally got the best training facilities too, so their players are developing quicker. So, is the status quo actually going to stay the same domestically, and maybe we're going to see the changes in European football? In La Liga, for example, Atletico, Barcelona and Real Madrid are still the top three, as they would have been in real life pretty much. In Serie A, Inter winning the title from Napoli, as it's looking like might happen in real life with Juventus and AC right behind them. In Germany, it's Bayern again winning the title, although Cologne in second, St. Pauli in third and Stuttgart in fourth. I mean, Stuttgart, okay, they're a Champions League team, but Cologne and St. Pauli aren't normally up there, so they've done pretty well. But again, not a massive change to the league table there. Hansa Rostock, they've been promoted the past couple of seasons. They've done pretty well, so they're the only sort of anomaly there. I mean, their team's not quite as good as Burton Albion, but it's on a pretty decent level. And again, they're bringing in some players from other regions of the world that don't normally get a lot of great players. I mean, they've got 3 players from Azerbaijan here with over 150 current ability. This fella looks insane as a striker. If his composure was like 16 as well as his finishing and his pace, my word, he'd be a superstar. The centre midfielder is very good in some areas. His current ability, this guy, is 159. I feel like that doesn't look like a 159 current ability sort of player. It's not helped out the Azerbaijan national team though. They're still 121st in the world right now. But if we look at the senior squad, for example, oh my gosh, every player almost is over 150 current ability. So the national teams are all absolutely stacked now. Brazil are number 1 in the world. I guarantee you, every single player there over 170 current ability. Oh, it's not far off actually. Almost every single player over 160 current ability. You got Vinicius Jr. there with 200 out of 200 current. This is... yeah, no wonder they're so good. Oh wow, there's only 5 players who have maxed out their current ability. So Vinny Jr., Rooney Bargi, Camavinga, Warren Zaire-Emery and Erling Haaland. You've got quite a few players on 199. Antonio Silva still at Benfica, interestingly. Maybe Benfica have gone on to do well in the Champions League. Mbappe, Bellingham, Saka, Musiala as well, all up there too. Now, typically, you never see anyone hit 200 current ability. You may see one person in a generation hit that. The fact we've got 5 here is pretty crazy. This is ridiculous. Look at the scrolling speed it's going here. Right, we're at the 160s. 1,148 players over a... That is crazy. This is hilarious. I love this database. As for the Champions League, Real Madrid have just beaten Brentford in the final. So we are seeing a different kind of team in the final, but it's still from England. You know, I'm expecting to see maybe like a Belgian or a Dutch or a Portuguese, maybe even a Greek side get to the final, but no, it's still Spain and England. And actually, we've seen some very usual suspects so far in the Champions League final. Real Madrid have won 4 of them, Barcelona the 5th. And then Bayern Munich have been runners-up a couple of times, as have Brentford, Liverpool and Inter Milan. So nothing major changing there. As for the Conference League, it's actually a little bit different with Hajduk Split and Braga and Panathinaikos winning that. So let's have a look at the 3 players we're tracking. And the first of them, Ali Reza is still at Palasopoulos, which isn't a good sign at 24 years old. I kind of thought maybe some good European club would see him under the radar and think that's the guy for us. Apparently not. Isaac Moran is still playing out in Nigeria as well, which is not a great sign either. 117 current ability, so top level League One sort of player. Maybe could play in the Championship a little bit for a lower down club. At 24 years old, not going to get much better. I don't think we're going to see him change a lot really. And our backup striker after the first one retired at the age of like 18 or something like that. Freddie Draper, he's here, 25 years old, and he's still playing for Lincoln City. And Lincoln City are 22nd in League 2. They have just avoided relegation to the... Okay, this is not a good look for Lincoln City here. So as it turns out, the 3 players that I want to track aren't particularly good, and I don't think they're going to do much at all. So we'll stop tracking them for now. However, I have reached out to all 3 of them. I've actually spoken to them, and they got back to me and they said, Tom, we love your content. We are subscribers. Everyone watching this video right now should press that subscribe button. And that's the message they wanted me to pass on to you guys. So really, you'd be letting them down if you didn't press that subscribe button. So let's get simulating another 5 years in the future and see what things change. But whilst we wait for the simulation to happen, let me tell you about my mate, Mike. He has this wonderful business called Full Time Prints, where he immortalises your club's best moments. Remember Aguero's goal? He's got a 2D Football Manager style print to immortalise that moment. Want to have the Arsenal Invincible League table on your wall? he's got that as well. He's even got a print of one of my favourite Lincoln City moments when we won the EFL trophy back in 2018. Elliot Whitehouse scoring the goal past Shrewsbury Town to lift the trophy. In fact, if you can't find the print that you want, you can get in contact with him through the website and request exactly what you want to see on a print to put on your wall. Every now and again he comes to me and says, "Tom, how much do you want to do an advert on your channel?" And I refuse to take a penny off him. He's my mate and I want his business to do well. But you can take some money off him, because if you use code TomFM at checkout, you get 10% off your order. In fact, the code works throughout the year, TomFM. Visit Full-Time Print in the link down in the description below, and remember, use code TomFM for 10% off your order at checkout. Mike is a really good friend of mine and he's put a lot of work into this business. So let's show him some TomFM love. Go check out the website and buy yourself a print. I'll be honest with you, the Season 10 Premier League table still looks very like a current Premier League table. Arsenal are winning the title, which is very unusual, but the only teams that are in it right now that aren't in it in real life is Sunderland, although by the time you watch this, they may have won the playoffs. Portsmouth are in there, and Burton Albion. Oh my word, Burton's team is just insanely good, and they're only the 15th best team in the Premier League. This is genuinely, how good is the best team in the world if this is what Burton Albion's team looks like? Sam Ward's still there, Charlie Knowles still there, Kia Svaric, I think he's a new player. I don't recall him. Maybe we did see him last time because he has been at Burton Albion his entire career. So Burton's homegrown players have just turned into beasts. So this Arsenal team then, oh my word, they've got one player with 200 current ability and then two with 199. Rokas Pukstas is an American-Lithuanian midfielder who is arguably one of the best players in the world with his 200 current ability. Ethan Nwaneri developing very nicely. He could get to 200 current ability if he just has like one of his mental attributes go up a little bit, which is quite likely as a player gets older. They're the last things to develop as a player. He could also hit 200. I will say we haven't seen anyone sort of come out of the real blue to be a top Premier League player. Like, I want to see someone come from like the Cook Islands to just become the dominant force at Tottenham or something. I tell you what, this could be better to do. Let's look through the FIFA World Rankings where the United States of America are the world #1. But I don't think that's like really out of the realms of possibility in real life. If we scroll down, Australia in 13th feels very high for them, but they normally do qualify for World Cups. Keep scrolling down. Okay, Uzbekistan in 27th. That is the team that is completely out of place here. Oh my word, their best... Look at how good their side is. Their best player's got 194 current ability. He's a goalkeeper, currently playing for Real Madrid, and he started life in this video at a random club in Uzbekistan. The second best player, 192 current ability, plays for Manchester United right now. Similar kind of story, was at Nasaf in Uzbekistan, has then moved on to Sporting and then to Man United. And then this striker, who by the way looks absolutely incredible, he currently plays for Benfica, but he moved there after being at a team in Uzbekistan domestically. So for some reason, all the scouts have been to Uzbekistan. Why there, I don't know, but it's worked out for them. Let's look at the Australia side as well, actually. They've got some very good players in this side. Interestingly, the goalkeeper is the best player again, Sam Munford. He only plays for Sporting right now in Portugal, but was at Western United in the A-League for quite a few years before moving there for very cheap. Ersan Paulos, the striker, he is insanely good. Currently plays for RZ, and he was playing at Green Gully in Australia, who aren't even in the A-League. They're just randomly in Australia, moved to RZ and has done really well. And seeing a lot of these really good players playing for like RZ and Sporting, maybe they have been successful continentally. In the Conference League, Atalanta, Spurs, Villa, Real Sociedad and Brentford are the winners in the past 5 seasons of simulation that we've done, with Besiktas being maybe the only team there that wouldn't maybe ordinarily make a Conference League final when we're looking at teams here, maybe PSV as well. So not much has changed there. Europa League, though, has seen PSV Eindhoven beat Freiburg in the final. That's good to see. Lazio, Newcastle, Brentford and Man City winning it, though. That just is a bit disappointing. I would have liked to have seen someone really out of the blue win that. Trabzonspor maybe being one of them. They lost to Lazio in the final. So I don't hold out much hope for the Champions League, where, yeah, Newcastle, Arsenal, Man City, Barcelona and PSG, and it's very similar teams in the finals as well. And even the Club World Cup isn't actually that fun to look at as well. It's held every 4 years now, so we've had 3 competitions since this database has started. Real Madrid, Bayern Munich and Spurs winning it, with European teams in the final as well. So all of my hypotheses so far just aren't coming true. Another reason as to why the status quo is maybe remaining the same is just because there aren't enough difference makers now. So as you can see, loads of players now have 200 out of 200 current ability. In fact, 20 players have 200 out of 200 current ability. Messi and Ronaldo, I think that the highest they ever got to was 198. So essentially we've got 20 players here who are better than Messi and Ronaldo. And actually if we include all the 199s in this as well, that's 49 players who are better than Messi and Ronaldo wherever in their careers, based in Football Manager at least. And they all play for different clubs. I mean, Sturm Graz have got a player with 200 current ability. This bloke... he signed on a free transfer. There are so many perfect players essentially around. No one cares. No one cares. This player here plays for Southampton in the Championship, 199 current ability. In any other database, every single elite club in the world would be fighting over a £300 million bid for him. He's worth 29 million at worst here. I mean, you could pick him up for that, maybe. Another 199 playing in the Championship for Wolves. 193 current ability here playing in South America. That's the highest rated player I think I've seen playing outside of Europe. Sorry, outside of Europe and Saudi Arabia, where they're being paid £1.3 million per week. That's the kind of, we can't really include that too much. But a lot of these players now are going to be starting to retire. So we may start to see a shift towards the clubs who have managed to get the youngest possible talent and develop them quite nicely as we go a bit further into the future. 15 years into the future, most players have retired. The players at the start who were 18 years old, they're now 33 and getting towards the twilight of their careers. So sorting it by current ability, as you can see, there's now only 4 players with 200 current ability left over, and 2 of them play for Manchester United. It then actually does drop off a little quicker now towards the mid-90s, the low 90s, into the 80s and things like that. So basically at this point, they're a dying breed of the 200 potential abilityers. And perhaps that's helped out Man City, because they've won the last 5 titles in a row, so maybe they just had the best 18-year-olds at the very start and got them developed very quickly and have done pretty well out of it. That actually does seem to be the case, because they've got 6 players over 190 current ability. So they did pretty well off the bat. They've actually got a lot of players. Looking at their team actually by age, most of this squad are over the age of 30, so that's exactly what they did. They just got the very best youngsters around and train them up. It's still a Barcelona and Real Madrid world in Spain though, unfortunately. That's a real shame. Lazio, Juve, Atalanta, AC, Inter, all the top 5 still. And in Germany, Stuttgart still managing to hold on to the title ahead of Bayern Munich, who are just always there, along with Cologne and Borussia Dortmund. Eredivisie is now the 5th best league in Europe. It's still RZ dominating things here. Ajax are nowhere to be seen though. Ajax only 4th in the 2nd division and lost in the playoffs as well, so it's really backfired for Ajax this, which feels impossible because they just seem to produce wonderkid after wonderkid in real life. So how they've not been able to do that here with all the 200 potential ability they've got and not been able to train them up is crazy. And then in France, it's still PSG dominating everything, although Marseille only 2 points behind them is not too bad. Not holding out much hope for these European competitions. It's the usual suspects in the final from the usual leagues, which is a real shame. Europa League, Burnley, congrats on winning that, but again, it's the apart from PSV winning it, and maybe Brentford arguably, but they're still a usual suspect from a usual division, I would say. Nothing changes massively here, and if we drop into the conference again, Sunderland, congrats on winning it, but you're from England, so it doesn't make a difference here. Like, imagine if these finals had been reversed and it's like Club Brugge win it, Freiburg win it, Rapid Vienna win it. That would have been really fun to see. And then the most recent Club World Cup, Man City beat Inter Milan in the final. So we're not even seeing South American teams come through here. The World Cup doesn't even save us here either. I mean, it's not actually too unrealistic to see Colombia win in most Football Manager saves at some point, really. Nigeria is not uncommon to see come in a runners-up position in the World Cup either. So I think the result we've seen from this is if you give every single player in Football Manager 200 potential ability, the status quo pretty much just stays the same. I mean, I'd be interested to see what happens if we gave everyone 200 current ability instead. Now that could be something that works. In the meantime, how about you watch this video? I was put in charge of Real Madrid and I was told I can keep the job as long as I don't lose. As soon as I lose a match, I am going to get sacked. So to make sure I'm not the shortest serving manager in Real Madrid history, we've got some work to do. We have to keep winning, otherwise we're done. How long do you reckon I can last in charge of the club? We can find out by watching this video on screen right now.